Hi, Assalamualaikum and very good morning. My name is Muhammad Ubaidillah bin Anwar. I'm from Polytechnic Melaka and I'm here to talk about best attraction place in Melaka. So let's continue about that. Okay, as we know, Melaka is one of the most popular tourist destinations within Malaysia, crowded with a number of tourists from all across the globe. Melaka in Peninsular Malaysia is also spelled Melaka, and it is one of the most interesting parts of the country. Melaka has a varied history, having been colonized by the Portuguese, Dutch, and British, and as such, you will find the influences from all these colonial powers in the food, architectures, and even the language. All in all, Melaka offers a serene yet fascinating glimpse into the history of Malaysia, and it is a top spot for anyone looking to explore a different side of the country away from big cities like Kuala Lumpur. So let's continue about the best attraction place in Melaka. So the first place is called Famosa. Famosa is more than just quick photo stop opportunity for tourists. Built in 1511, the settlement used to sprout across a whole hillside, but now only a lone gate called Porta de Santiago remains. One of the oldest surviving European architectural remains in Asia. It is set beside the Istana Kesultanan on Jalan Kota. Famosa is perhaps Melaka's best known sightseeing spot, originally constructed by Alfonso Albuquerque, who led the Portuguese invasion on the Melaka Sultanate. The remains of the fort is now a crumbling whitewashed gatehouse, and it locates downhill from St. Paul Church. In the 16th century, Famosa housed the entire Portuguese administration, including its hospital, 5 churches, allocate the storage room, capital residence, and officer quarters. The rest of the basin comprised of townhouses clustered in the fortress walls. The fort was expanded in 1586 and to accommodate Melaka growing populations. Okay, for the second place is Baba Nyonya Heritage Museum in Melaka. Baba Nyonya located at 48 to 50 along Jalan Tun Cheng Lok in Melaka. The Baba Nyonya Heritage Museum is actually a collection of 3 beautifully restored houses arranged to like a typical 19th century Baba Nyonya residence. Excellent examples of Chinese Palladian style, these townhouses, built in 1896, were transferred into a traditional Peranakan museum in later years. Connected by a common covered footway, the museum features hand-painted tiles, elaborate carved teakwood outer swings door, and a sturdier internal door which provide extra security. Framed by Greco-Roman columns, 2 red lanterns, one bearing a household name and the other message of good luck, hang on either side of the entrance. The upper level of the house has a short canopy of Chinese tiles above the portico, which frames the almost Venetian shuttered windows. Okay, we move to the third place, and the third place is Christ Church Melaka. Christ Church built by the Dutch when they took possession of Melaka from the Portuguese. It's one of Melaka's most defining structures. This situated along Jalan Gereja and also known as Church Street. It is an state use. Christ Church was built in 1753, and to celebrate a century of Dutch occupation. The interior of the cathedral has 200 years old handmade pews, decorative fan lights and plaques that honor Dutch soldiers and locals. Creek Church is located near to the MELAKA Chinatown Center and across the bridge from the Jonker Streets. It is one of the most popular sightseeing attractions in the city's area. A lot of colorful tree shows, and you can pay to ride it. And and directly opposite is the Historical Museum and Ethnographical Museum. The area is steeped in Baba Nyonya culture with opulent Baba merchants, houses and elegantly conserved Nyonya restaurants that line the Constrict roads. The Christ Church is small and once inside, right beside the front doors, there is a long table with brochure and religious paraphernalia for sale set up. There are about 10 rows of pews before the main altar, and the whole place has all lights, fixtures and plenty of wood but well-kept styles. Okay, the next place is MELAKA Maritime Museum. MELAKA Maritime Museum is a replica of the Flor de la Mar, a Portuguese ship said to have been carrying loot plundered from Malacca when it sank off the coast of Malacca on its way back to Portugal. Opened to the public in 1994, this unique museum is an enlightening trip back into Malacca past. The 34-meter high and 36-meter long and 8-meter wide structure is located at Quayside Road. Set 10 minutes away from Dutch Square, the MELAKA Maritime Museum is divided into the different era that Malacca have gone through. From the Malacca Sultanate period to Portuguese, Dutch and British rule. The interior of the MELAKA Maritime Museum is subtly lit with a spiral staircase dominating the space. Downstairs is a collection of porcelain, silk, textile and spice that were brought in by traders from Europe, India and China back in the day. Check out the series of frame paintings and pictures illustrating Malacca role as an emporium for these traders. The upper level of the ship has a diorama of a captain cabins. Through the visitors are not allowed to enter the cabin. On the doorstep of the cabin is plenty of material on the vital role the captain on the Portuguese ship played. Okay, for the conclusion, there are many interesting places in Malacca that we can visit. Other than that, what I said a moment ago, and tourists can choose the place they want to visit, and I hope that many more tourists will come to visit Malacca, so that they can know Malacca has a lot of past history. Last but not least, the history of Malacca is best. And thank you very much for listening my presentation.